When I was a little kid, probably around the time when I was in elementary school, my uncle would take me and my cousins fishing. And, being a little kid, elementary school age, I was already, if you've been following my channel for a while now, you know that I used to play video games when I was a kid. So, when I was little, I used to play a game called RuneScape. I would literally go to school, I would get all my work done, I would come home, and I would boot up my parents' computer, and I'd play RuneScape. It's like a game where it's like a medieval fantasy setting, and and essentially what you would do is you'd have all these skills that you could level up, quests you can go on, and everything. And one of those skills was the fishing skill. And you would go up and down the river. You would see like little, I guess, like parts of the river that were like bubbly, and that would kind of indicate to you in the game that that's like a spot where you can fish at. So when you take your character there, you get a rod, you get whatever bait you're using, and you would cast in. I don't even really remember if you needed bait or not. You might have just needed a rod. So you cast it in, then in like 5 seconds you'd have a fish, and then your character would keep casting in automatically for you, and you would just keep reeling in the fish until you like cook them or sell them or whatever. So there I am at whatever park I'm at with my uncle, and he can tell I'm getting impatient, not because I'm the type of kid that would like yell or I'm the type of kid that would like stomp my feet in frustration, but I just kept casting out and reeling in way too quickly. So like my uncle could tell I was kind of expecting something to happen, and then I'd get impatient and I reel the rod in. And he said a phrase to me that would stick with me to this day. And he would say that every single time. Like if we were at we used to go to a beach house too in Maryland every summer for like the beach, and we'd like stay there for like, you know, we'd stay there for like 3 or 4 days, and we would crab off the balcony. And there was like a little like, I don't know what to call it. It's like, it's not like a whole harbor, but it's a place where you can put boats, and it eventually like feeds out the into like a greater water system, but it's like fully man-made. It's like I don't even know really what to call it, but we would crab off the dock in the back of the house. And whether it was me fishing or whether it was me crabbing, my uncle would always say to me, "Patience is a virtue," and he'd kind of say it as like a joke, like patience is a virtue, Michael. Patience is a virtue. And I knew he was just giving me a hard time back then, but that kind of just stuck with me forever, like that phrase. And he was right. Patience is a virtue, and not only is it a virtue, it's probably the strongest virtue that a masculine man can really have. Because if you really think about it, I'm gonna put kind of a couple scenarios in your mind to where it kind of might click for you, or like the image might click for you. So I want you to imagine like two kids in like high school, right? Like they're the same kid, both male, they're both going through high school, and we'll just call him Jimmy, I guess. Jimmy number one really wants a girlfriend. Like has been very attracted to girls. Like he wants a girlfriend. Like all of his buddies like are into girls now because they're in high school. They're at that age where like they're really liking girls and they want to like get into a relationship. So Jimmy number one really wants a girlfriend. And Jimmy number one has this girl he really likes. And, you know, he has her number from, you know, he has her number from like a project that they worked on together. And he starts trying to text her about like, it's like long after the project. It's like a month or two after their project together, and he just starts texting her out of the blue. Oh, Cindy, what are you doing today? Or like, oh, how's your day going? And then he's just constantly texting her all the time. Almost like neurotically, like, desperately trying to get attention from her. And Jimmy number two, sure, he wants a girlfriend, but he's in school. He's got to keep his grades up. He values going out and spending time with his friends. He maybe has like something in his life he's working on or a goal he's working towards, and he has her number from their project they worked on together. He thinks that she's cute, so he just texts her one day like, "Hey, I'm going rock climbing next week. You should come with me." And then he just leaves it at that. Which Jimmy do you think Cindy is going to find more attractive? Obviously the second one, that's not so like so desperate, so impatient, so like wanting to like move things forward, right? And I think life just has a way of rewarding more patient people. Like I think life kind of works in the way that, how females can just they can just smell the desperation off the guy that's just constantly coming onto them and trying to like be with them and go out and take them out and like learn everything they can about them. And and I think the and I think kind of the same thing can be said with like if you've been in the like self-improvement masculine zeitgeist for a while now on social media, you'll know who like Andrew Tate is, who like David Goggins is, and it's like they're these very like aggressively masculine people. They're very like, you gotta go grind, you gotta get your ass into gear, you gotta go as hard as you can, and you gotta grind, grind, grind. And I see a lot of like young men these days trying to emulate that, and it it comes off as kind of cringe, right? Like it comes off as kind of cringy, um, and I feel like when you're whatever goal or motivation you might have, if you take too much to the whole like grind, like the whole like, oh well, I gotta grind, 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 nothing else, and you don't take the time to actually like rest your body and like plan things out, and you're just always forcing things and rushing things, then the quality of work that you're going to put out, whether it's like whether it's a business, whether it's the gym, and you have that like grind, grind, grind mentality, and you're going in, you're like, I'm going to work out 7 days a week. I'm going to do a full body split. I'm going to hit every single muscle group like 3 or 4 times a week. Like, I'm just going to go in there and I'm going to hit everything as hard as I can. And then you burn out in 2 weeks and you wonder why. It's not that hard to see that it's that like grind, grind mentality just tearing your body apart, and your mind can't move forward with that. So like taking a step back, and instead of imagining the aggressive male that is gonna, oh, take what you want, I'm gonna fuck your wife, bro, like, oh, I'm so fucking masculine and aggressive. Cringe. Take a step back, slow down. Now, I'm not saying, be a bitch, don't work on your goals, don't be driven. Be driven, be masculine, move forward in your goals, but don't burn yourself out. Don't fly too close to the sun. Move purposefully and decisively towards your goal, but smart. Don't grind, 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 but move forward on a steady, purposeful pace towards whatever goal you have. And I think when you do that, and it's almost like you're becoming an inevitability, right? Like instead of just rushing towards the goal as fast as you can, you're almost like an inevitable wall of force, slowly and steadily moving towards that goal, and you can't be ignored. If somebody who's just burning themselves out is chasing the same goal, they're not going to get there because they're going to be too discombobulated from everything going on and the pressures that they're putting themselves on. But the truly masculine patient man takes a step back evaluates how he's going to get to that goal, and slowly but surely makes it so he can get there the most convenient way possible. He still puts in the work, he still does everything he can to achieve that goal, but he's not going about it in a reckless, stupid way. And I think that kind of ties into the whole like, I think like money and success, like women, can kind of smell desperation. So if you're too desperate and you're just chasing after this goal and you're grinding all day, you're never going to get there. You need to be this slow masculine wall of inevitable force that gets you to that goal. And I kind of want to put another kind of idea in your mind too. Imagine yourself as a father, right? Imagine you have a young boy, a young girl, and you're a father. And let's say you've been let's say you've been working on something. Like let's say you got home from work and it's been a long day, right? And you're not a very patient person. You've had a long day at work. You're trying to get settled down, you're trying to just have a meal, you're trying to relax, and the last thing you want is anybody bothering you. And you're not very patient. Your kid comes up to you and is asking for something, is like asking for a new game or asking to spend money on something, and money's tight. And they can they can kind of just see the look on your face that you don't want to be bothered right now. And they subconsciously like kind of put it in their mind like that they can't go to you and ask questions like that, or like go to you with those kinds of concerns, whatever it might be. Now, imagine yourself as the more patient, masculine man who had a tough day, but you come home, you're getting a meal, you're trying to relax, but you're patient. And your kid comes up to you and you're able to kind of separate that you're able to separate that, angst from work. You're able to separate that angst from work from time with your kid. And the kid asks you whatever you need, and you calmly and patiently respond to them. I believe that that kid's going to see you more as, the true masculine figure of like the kind of gentle giant, instead of this like aggressive, irritable parent. And I think that's kind of like, I think that's truly like how masculinity is going to evolve in our society. I think I'm ahead of the curve right now, honestly, because it's still very much in the Tate Goggins grind, aggression, get like take what you want from the world. And I think we're eventually going to reach a higher, better level of masculinity where it is like the old age masculinity is like no one's better than you, no male figure is better than you. You need to you either are a ship, you're either shit or you're above that person. And it's a very like, I shouldn't say like very competitive, because like you are competing with every other man in the world. That's just the nature of things. But there's a difference between healthy competition with men and trying to get what you want in the world, and tearing other men down to get what you want. And I think the old age of masculinity is like you're either a piece of shit or you're above everybody else. And I think the new masculinity is this patient, gentle, giant, virtuous figure that people genuinely see as strong, and they look up to them, and they have this ability to be aggressive and defend the ones that they love. But 99% of the time, they're exuding this kindness and confidence from them, and they submit. they don't submit to other men, but submit to God. And I think that's truly the kind of gentle giant spiritual man that I believe that true masculine men are going to evolve in the future. And I think patience is one of the most important virtues that those types of men can have. Um, so luckily, I grew up to be a very stoic man. I'm a man of few words, other than this YouTube channel. And if you're like a close friend of mine, I don't stop yapping. If you're my wife, I don't stop yapping. So they just have to really put up with it. But I consider myself a very patient person. It takes a lot to get a rise out of me, and it takes a lot to get me angry. But I think one thing that's helped me be patient in situations where otherwise I wouldn't be, and be more productive in situations where I wouldn't think I am, is it's the I like to call it like the happiness mask mentality. And it's really just in any situation, I can kind of choose to be happy. And I believe any man can do this. I can't speak for women because I'm not a woman and I don't have the biology of a woman. I don't have the brain chemistry of a woman, so I can't really speak for women, but certainly for men, you can flip happiness on like a switch. So, yesterday at work, for example, I was actually going to record this video yesterday, but I turned on my camera. My camera said that I had like no battery left after, I thought I had plenty of battery, so I wasn't able to record yesterday. I'm recording today. So, yesterday, my nose this whole video, my nose just keeps itching. Whatever. Patience, right? So, yesterday I'm at work, um, and I'm actually listening to this kind of I'm listening to another like self-improvement YouTuber talk about this kind of concept. I named it the happiness mask mentality, but other people have different names for it. And it's this like ability that men have to kind of turn their happiness on. They elect to be happy. They choose to be happy. And I kind of just tried it at work. I wasn't feeling like super productive. I wasn't feeling like great. I was at my job, which I don't really get so much fulfillment from. And immediately when I decided to be happy to be there, immediately I started feeling more productive. I started thinking about ideas for this video. I started thinking like way better than I was just cruising or like just NPCing at work, just like automatically going through my day. So whatever you're doing in life, like and the mask will slip off naturally. Just throughout your day, throughout life, it might happen once. The mask might slip once a day. It might slip off 50 times in a day. But you have to make the decision to grab that mask and put it back on and be happy, because it's just such a return on investment when you put it on. Even if you're not happy in the moment, if you put on that happiness mask, it'll be easier to be happy. Like it made me happier in that day. Yesterday when I was just cruising, kind of autopiloting, I put that happiness mask on, and even though I wasn't happy to be at work, like 5 minutes into it, I was like, like let's think of this concept for this video. Like, this is something I want to mention in my video, and it gave me things to be happy about. Being excited about recording this video, about getting home and setting up the camera and really giving some good advice. So just slip on that happiness mask whenever you can. Try to let it slow you down and try to let it just make you feel more fulfilled and be more of a patient person. Because being a patient person is, in whatever capacity, and having more patience with others and having more patience in the world and whatever you're doing, it truly does make you a more masculine man seen as more of like a gentle giant, a rock that people can come to. When people see that you're not as angry at situations, or you're not as like moved or swayed by emotion, and you have this natural patience to you, people gravitate towards that, and they go to you for advice, and they want to be more like you. So I hope this video helps you. If you want to work with me personally one-on-one, my website link, as always, is going to be in the description below. You have it in you to be great. Goodbye.